Good morning from Austin, Texas. Thank you for your presentation, Eugene. Was really enlightening for me. And I want to talk to you about how consumer influences will shape the post-COVID world. And at the Etho, we see things from the by women for women lens and by the ethical and sustainable lens. And so, first of all, my name is Monica Peraza. I am the co-founder and co-CEO of the Etho.com. And the Etho is an ethical technology company and marketplace by women for women. We have a tagline that says all about what we're meant to do in the world. And it says, behind every great brand, there is a great woman. Ours is Mother Earth. So this is me, and this is our team at a retreat in Colorado last year. And we really set to fulfill the mission of the Etho. And when we were creating this company, we really analyzed what is the impact that women are making in this world. And not only the women are the chief purchasing officers of the home, like 85% of the things that are being bought by women. But also, we wanted to create a marketplace that would be think of an Amazon, but for ethical and sustainable products, where you will find from cleaning products to fashion, and you will be able to know that everything you're buying them is sustainable. So we have goods across all categories, and to be in the Etho, the brands have to be ethically verified through a process that we created that will ensure sustainable chains, processes, ecological best practices, and fair wages. So we have right now women from over 43 countries selling at the Etho, and that is impacting over 4,300 women from those 43 countries. We really are providing for the conscious consumer a one-stop shop where they can order everything they want or need. And we are a minority and women-funded company. And we're really passionate about the vision of the Etho, which is to eradicate extreme poverty among women by providing access to markets to 100 million women by 2030. So we did a huge analysis, and we saw how brands, designers, and artisans all over the world have these unique and wonderful products. And I want you to imagine yourselves, you go to this beautiful resort in Riviera Maya, and then you go shopping to the boutiques and you find these amazing products. But if you don't buy them there, you will probably never find them ever again. So there are makers all over the world with unique products that have a huge potential in the markets, but they don't have access to markets. And access to markets that will pay fair price. Why? Because women usually have a huge challenge. We either have children or we have responsibilities that don't enable us to be able to go far away where those products are desired and needed to be able to sell them at fair prices. So we analyzed and we said, what is the consumer problem? And we found out that women were really struggling to find ethical products in one place. And there are marketplaces that sell ethical fashion, there are marketplaces that sell ethical beauty. There's not that one comprehensive place that sells all these ethical products and you could do just one shopping and buy everything. And just to give you an idea of how ethical is coming into the world, and I think now because of the COVID experience, the world is awakening to a new consciousness, and this new consciousness is being good citizens of the world and being more mindful of the impact that we're having in this world. So in numbers, only in the US, because the sustainable shoppers will spend over $150 billion in consumer goods. And this is an amount that is growing exponentially because millennials are really committed to being good citizens of the world. And then you have the designer problem, which is from high-end designer to designers that are working with artisan women all over the world. And they have these incredible products, but they want to create that access to markets to be able to increase production and be able to give work to more and more artisan women. This was a topic that was touched in Davos this year, and the e-commerce globalization shot at equality. Why? Because it's an artisan, and we have women all over the world selling the products with us. And through our SaaS platform, they're enabled to ship and do several functions to be able to reach the end consumer. The goal of the Etho is to create this first SaaS platform for ethical makers all over the world, to enable them not only to manage their day-to-day business, but to be able to grow their business by managing inventory across platforms and across different retail channels. So now let's go into, this was kind of an oversight of where we come from and what we've studied a lot, how women purchase products and what is the role in women in the world right now. And so we want to understand what is the sentiment during this pandemic. I really think that the brands that are able to sense this new shift in consciousness in the world and align their marketing to it and their brands to it will be able to thrive. This is such a huge shift. It's not all about staying home and not being able to go anywhere. It's really about where we are and what is the impact of each of us in this planet. So people, 92% of people plan to increase or maintain their current online purchasing habits within the next 90 days. So there were many questions they asked these women shoppers and said, do you plan to increase your online shopping or do you want to decrease it? And as you can see, most of them remain about the same or are going to increase it. Very few are going to decrease it. And that we can see how, I don't know about you and where you are, but although today Texas opened a lot of businesses, there are many of us that don't have a lot of intention of going out there until we know what the future holds. So e-commerce is not only growing, but there is this sentiment that we are in a quarantine, and the biggest reward for some people, and I can tell you my daughter does that, when the delivery comes, she rushes down the stairs, and it's a favorite part of her day. So we're seeing here that 44% of people are still likely to purchase luxury products. And we know that a lot of people lost their jobs, and obviously because of that loss of jobs, they're not going to buy that, and that is the bigger one that we have decreased to a large extent. but we have that a lot of people are going to remain the same. There is very few that are going to increment those purchases. And what does this say about e-commerce and consumer intent? Well, like I was saying, in the current state of quarantine, an increase of e-commerce purchasing is partially a shift of the same spend from brick and mortar. We were spending that money on other things. We were spending money on restaurants. We were spending money on going and shopping, and now we're ordering most of everything online. Trends seem to be that it's going to continue in that direction for a long period as social distancing continues, and we don't know what is going to happen after that. When luxury purchases are considered, the split is close. Why? Because some people did lose their job, but then other people, that is their pampering and their way of uplifting themselves in these times. And the decrease in luxury numbers are basically on that. It's the loss of jobs. So now we're going to analyze which personal values influence women in their day-to-day decisions to buy certain products. What are the things behind the yes, I want to buy this? And this is a very interesting chart that is a 2-page fold because there were many questions asked and many answers were very relevant. So they started by asking, are you buying products to help and care for your family and friends? Obviously that was number one. Of preserving your own safety and the safety of your family, and that came in the second place. And then they were like being dependable and trustworthy for family and friends, having a safe and stable community and nation, being free to determine your own actions, treating every person in the world equally and justly, enjoying the pleasures of life, being humble and modest, understanding and accepting people who are different from you, caring for nurture and protecting the environment. So this first page, you can see that there is a different awareness in purchasing now. They're not only considering their immediate family and friends, which is top on the list, and obviously the safety, but they're also considering the equality and justly in the world. And they're also considering the protecting their environment. That is a huge factor also for people to buy products. And then we go into the more mundane things. Fulfilling obligation and obeying rules, being free to think up new ideas, avoiding upsetting and harming people, preserving family, cultural religions, but then it goes into having a life full of excitement and novelties, being successful, acquiring wealth, being in charge and directing people. And like Eugene was saying in his titles of leadership, that is not the current state of mind. So as you can see, the coronavirus seems to have elevated our values. The least altruistic values are among the lowest scored, such as being in charge, accumulating wealth, and admiration. Values aligned with the planet and people are high-ranking and include equal treatment of all people, protecting the environment, and not harming people. So what does that mean? Whatever your service or brand is right now, start thinking if you are not like we at the Etho, that we were born